today I'm going to be starting my first year teacher advice series. Basically, it is going to be a series of videos for first year teachers, but of course, if you're not a first year teacher and you're like a second or third or fourth or whatever year teacher, this may still be helpful for you. I know I like watching these videos, but I'm only going to be a second year teacher, so I will be compiling a playlist if you want to watch all of these videos, or if you just want to save them for later. I will have that linked down below in the description box. Definitely hit the subscribe button if you're new so you can stay up to date with all my teaching and lifestyle related videos. So as you can tell by the title, today's topic is classroom must-haves. So I compiled a list of 10 items that I used in my classroom every single day that I could not live without. I will have all of these items linked down below on my Amazon storefront. I do get a super small commission if you choose to buy from my Amazon storefront. It doesn't change the price, but it does give me a few pennies. So if you want to support a fellow teacher, definitely use the links below if you're interested in purchasing any of these items. You can also add them to your classroom wish list. My first classroom must-have is a wireless doorbell. This was one of the first things I put on my classroom wish list last year, and my grandparents actually bought it for me. I believe it was around $15. Sometimes the price fluctuates on Amazon. I use this wireless doorbell every single day, and this was one of my ways to get my students' attention, probably the one I used the most. In the beginning of the year, right away, I let them know when you hear this sound, you stop what you're doing, you stop talking, and you look to me for the next direction. Whenever the noise level was getting a little too high, I would just press my doorbell and get their attention. When independent reading time was over right before lunch, I would click the button, they knew to go back to their seats. It's a really great tool for classroom management. There are so many different sounds you can choose from. I went through all of them last summer, and honestly there's not that many that I liked, but I did find a few that I liked. I just kept the same one all year long. So classroom doorbell definitely could not live without. Next year I am looking into getting something to attach it to my lanyard. I know a lot of teachers get the little Bath and Body Works sanitizer holders, and you can connect that to your lanyard, and it's the perfect size for the little doorbell button. So definitely gonna look into that for next school year, but I just kept it on my desk or brought it around the room with me when I needed it for small group, and it worked really well. A wireless doorbell is definitely one of my top recommendations for any grade level. I feel like it works no matter what. It's just a sound that signals something needs to happen, whether that's look at the teacher or move on to the next thing, whatever you want to use it for. My second must-have is my PowerPoint clicker. This might not apply to everyone. If you don't use slides in your classroom, then this might be pointless, honestly. But I used slides every single day. I kind of just got into the habit after being virtual, and we just used them in the classroom as well to kind of help structure our day, and we just followed it along. As the year went on, I made my slides super streamlined, so it was very basic. It just had like timers on them to help us get through like independent reading time, math centers, ELA centers, things like that. But I really did like having slides projected onto the board, so I'll probably continue doing that. And the PowerPoint clicker was super helpful because I could be anywhere in the room and switch the slide, and I didn't have to be next to my computer. So there's just a little chip that plugs into your laptop, and then the PowerPoint clicker is wirelessly set up, and you can just use the PowerPoint clicker wherever in your room to move to the next slides or go backwards. There's also a little laser pointer on it, which is nice. The main reason why I wanted it was for small group time. When I'm with a small group and the rest of the class is doing centers on their own, I was able to control the slides that have a timer on it, and it tells them when to switch and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend a PowerPoint clicker if you use slides, especially if you do like center rotations. So you don't have to be next to your computer, and you can just move on to the next slide wherever you are in the room. My third classroom must-have is book bins. So I put these black book bins on my wish list, and I was lucky enough to have them fully funded. It depends on your school and like the furniture that you have, but the desks in my school don't have a lot of storage inside of them. They do have a little area to put things in, but that really only fits like their math workbook and like their ELA hardcover book and things like that. So I had them use their black bins for pretty much everything else, like their pencil pouch, their independent reading book, their writing journal. their dry erase board, their clipboard, all of that stuff went into their bin. So if you know for sure that you're not gonna have enough student storage available to you, I would definitely put these on your wish list or purchase them. Super sturdy, they held up super nicely, and they're easy to clean. Definitely recommend those book bins. I'm not sure if they come in different colors. I got the black ones. My next classroom must-have are the Iris file organizers and file folders. So you are gonna have a paper flow no matter what. Even if you go in thinking that everything is going to be digital, there's still just papers that you accumulate and things you need to file and organize and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend, if you don't have a filing cabinet, which I do have a filing cabinet, and then I use these storage bins kind of for other stuff with file folders, if that makes sense. I will insert a picture here of how I use these storage bins with the file folders. I am actually changing them up a little bit. I'm gonna be just making new labels for them, but it's the same concept. I'm switching it up because I want to organize like my math and ELA curriculum in those containers. So it's gonna be like Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4. I still like having hard copies of certain things, and it also allows me to have a spot to put papers that I have like prepped a couple days ahead of time into its own like folder, so that they're not just all over my desk or all over the classroom. My next two must-haves go hand in hand, and that is a class set of whiteboards and a class set of clipboards. These are definitely must-haves, and I was lucky enough to put them on my classroom wish list, and they were fully funded by friends and family and people on Instagram, which is amazing because they can get really expensive. And a side note to all of this is definitely ask your school if you have a budget, because I had a $200 budget, and each year we get a $200 budget. So you can order things like this from school websites that usually give you a discount because you're part of a school. But even then, it can still be really pricey. So definitely try to get a class set of clipboards and a class set of whiteboards. We use these every single day. The clipboards are very nice for when they go around the room, flexible seating. If you're able to go outside, we have a rooftop garden at my school, which I'm just so lucky to have. So if we did work out there, they would just bring their clipboards with them. And the whiteboards, they use them all the time, especially for math. They loved using them for math to do out their work. The next must-have is plastic storage containers for supplies. So all those supplies that we just have an abundance of as teachers: pencils, crayons, colored pencils, highlighters, sticky notes, scissors, glue sticks. I will show you guys how I organize my supplies. I recommend clear bins because it's so nice to just be able to see what's inside. And of course you can label them like I did if you want to, but you could just leave them like that. If they're in clear bins, you know what's inside of them, which is nice. It also looks really nice if you have open storage like I do. I was really worried about the open storage looking unorganized, because there was no way to cover it up. But using these clear bins definitely made it look cohesive. Those are on my Amazon storefront as well. Those you have to be careful with. Sometimes the price skyrockets for some weird reason. So if you see like $50 or something crazy, don't buy them yet. They will eventually go back down. I believe I got mine for like 30 bucks. My next classroom must-have is a personal laminator. I actually have two personal laminators, but it was just nice if I had to laminate something small and I didn't feel like going all the way downstairs to the main area that my school has the laminators in. They do take a little while to heat up, but it's super convenient to have it in your classroom, super portable too. The one I keep at school is a Scotch brand laminator, and then the one I have at home is the Cronova brand. So both of them work great. I really don't have a preference over one or the other. They both work perfectly, but I will have those linked on my Amazon storefront as well. My next classroom must-have is a teacher toolbox. These are super popular in the TEACHERGRAM world, but I definitely recommend them. I got mine from Amazon. Of course, it is linked down below. I believe it was around $30, and it was on my Amazon wish list. Again, those are one of the things that can fluctuate on Amazon, so don't pay too much money for it. I would say around $30 is what you can expect to pay for those, because it is pretty sturdy, it has a lot of little containers. And I made my own labels for them. I stored all kinds of things and I put it right behind my desk, and it was super convenient. Anything I needed, it's right there behind me. I had paper clips, rubber bands, band-aids, masks this year, pens, chart markers, pencils, whiteout, batteries, like anything you can think of, I had it. The last classroom must-have on my list is turn-in bins. I originally planned on using 4 different turn-in bins for the different levels of understanding, which I still like that idea, but because of COVID and all that, I ended up just using 2 for the different cohorts. And then when we all came back together, I kept the 2 bins, but just one was my turn-in bin and the other one was for mailboxes, so that my mailbox manager could come over and just distribute them into the mailboxes. So turn-in bins don't have to necessarily just be for turning in work. It could be for so many different things, to organize different papers and stuff. Right now they have them at the Target dollar spot for $3. I actually picked up some white ones because I'm trying to brighten up my classroom a little bit. Not redoing my classroom or anything. I love the way it is and I have everything I need, but I do want to add some little white accents to brighten it up a little bit more. So those are my classroom must-haves. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found something in it useful. Everyone has their own experience with different items in the classroom, but I do hope most of these will be must-haves for you as well. I think a lot of them are, no matter like what grade level you're in, they're just classroom staples. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you're able to get some good deals on Amazon. Definitely add these things to your wish list and see what happens. You never know. I always encourage everyone to make a wish list, share it on their TEACHERGRAM or their personal Instagram, and see if anyone will buy anything before you go ahead and spend your money and buy everything. But definitely make a classroom wish list. You can comment your wish list down below if you want to. Stay tuned for more videos in this first year teacher advice series. I'm so excited to be filming them throughout the summer. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video.